Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Bellator fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting some of the key fights for Bellator 258, Archuleta versus Pettis. So without further ado, let's get to the first fight that I'll be predicting. So in our first fight, we have in the middleweight division, Lorenz Larkin versus Rafael Carvalho. So in this fight, we got two solid strikers going against one another. You got the longer ranger fighter in Rafael Carvalho. You got the more explosive, more unpredictable, better timing fighter in Lorenz Larkin. Carvalho comes with these big explosive body kicks and the head kick coming from the left side. And a lot of times he'll throw that left high kick and a switch stance off the high kick and follow with a nice 1-2 combination that ends with that right hand. Got a lot of power in that. But I think in this fight, Lorenz Larkin, unlike a lot of the opponents that Carvalho has success against, it's not a fighter that's going to be stationary, not going to be flat-footed, always on his toes, always moving, very unpredictable. And at times, unpredictable can leave him having questionable defense in these bursts. He will have like these quick burst motions or at the end of these motions. But for the most part, Lorenz Larkin has been a really hard target to hit for many fighters. Because, like I said, not stationary, always moving, always on his toes, so fast, so unpredictable. And it's like you got to either really box him off or cut him off, or you got to catch him with perfect time, which really, I haven't seen nobody really been able to catch Lorenz Larkin is in his timing, maybe with takedowns, but not really with shots, or none too clean. But really, to get to this point with this one, I think Carvalho, like I said, falls in love too much with that left kick, left side, left to the body or left to the head with the kicks. Like, just got a lot of power, but being predictable can be, in a fight where it's like already a tight matchup, can lead to why you lose a fight. I think that's what's going to lose a fight for him. I think it's going to allow Lorenz Larkin to be able to know what's coming, predict him, make him fall into his pattern, be able to catch the kicks and counter or avoid them, slip, move, and not be there for to kick the land. I really think, like I said, the speed and timing are definitely on Lorenz Larkin's side by a significant margin. Not a crazy, not by a mile, but by maybe a couple yards. He got the speed advantage for sure and the timing advantage. And I think this will come down to he's gonna be moving, he's gonna be out there, be active, be creatively unpredictable, mix it up well, land the kicks, and be out of the way, not really be there for a stationary target for Carvalho to really find success. I think Carvalho's best route will be to attack the legs. But again, Larkin is very good at defending leg kicks, and I think a leg kick battle, Lorenz Larkin will win that. So I think it's going to be a case of this Lorenz Larkin being faster, having better timing, being more unpredictable, and then it beat Carvalho to the punch and beat him to the kick, and not stay on a station, not stay stationary, stay on his toes. Still a competitive fight, but Lorenz Larkin is being quicker and better timing, getting to the shots and landing more significant shots. So in this one, I have Lorenz Larkin by decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Raufeon Stots versus Josh Hill. And I see this one right here. So Josh Hill is really coming in here. He's going to be a good test for Stots. He got a lot of experience, fought twice against Marlon Moraes for the title, lost both times, but definitely gave a good effort both times. He's been around, only 3 losses. Good well-rounded skill set. But I think, yeah, he's good well-rounded skill set, good experience, good leg kicks. Definitely been adding that calf kick into his game. But and this is why I think Stots is just the much faster fighter, much more fluid striker, the more technical wrestler. But like I said, Hill has experience, and that's going to give Stots something to work with. I think Hill got a little bit more power in his punches, but a lot of time on his punches he loads up a lot. He got a decent movement. He's not a stationary target. He moves his head, but not the best when punches are actually coming at him. But when he's moving in, he moves his head and not. But as far as actually not just looking the part, but being the part, his head move is not anything exceptional or stellar, decent at best. But again, good like power in his kicks, adding that calf kick to his game. But again, I think Stots is just a more fluid striker, the more technical wrestler, the more high-level wrestler. Overall, better grappler in this one. I think it's going to be faster and not as limited. Like I said, Hill loads up a lot, and when Hill's loading up, that's going to allow Stots to get off, allow Stots to really like take advantage of that. And he got caught with a head kick. When Moraes do a feint, that got him do his thing. That he always loads up and leans to one side to throw his overhand. And I feel like Stots can catch him with the same thing, because he leads once you get him to feint. Once he starts to bite on feints, he starts to lead and load to that load like the. Sorry about that. He starts to load up on that power overhand, And again, that could lead him open for the head kick. And Styles does got a pretty good head kick from the same side. So I can see him catching with a head kick, or at least touching him with it, which would still be catching him. I don't see him stopping with it, but I definitely can see him landing that head kick at least one point in this fight. That's going to definitely catch Hill's attention. This was probably going to open up more takedown opportunities. But really, in this one, I just think, like, the Hill's experience, well-rounded, going to give Stots some good work, but I think Stots is going to be faster, looser, be able to open up more on the striking, mixing his takedowns, and really just outpoint, outwork, and beat Hill everywhere this fight goes. So in this one, I have Raufeon Stots by decision. Now on to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, Michael Venom Page versus Derek Anderson. And I will give, matter of fact, I was never gonna give Derek Anderson the best shot, but you gotta give him respect. 17-3, been taking a while in the UFC. I mean, I said UFC, while in Bellator. Like, he's kind of been in the same position, not really rising or going anywhere, but still managed to be 17-3 and stick around, got some good wins, been in there with some good fighters, but again, never near a title shot and never this. But this fight will give him his best opportunity to get to a title shot. And this is the biggest fight of his career. And this is a fight that both of them need. But we don't really care about careers. We're caring about their careers are their own issues. We're just going about predicting, so we don't get too deep into that. But again, Derek Anderson, decent fighter, like tough, scrappy. Wouldn't call him the best striker at all. Good solid wrestler, but kind of falls into that standard type fighter. Nothing really all that amazing about anything he presents. And even his last fight against Killys Mota, he got a head kick stoppage in an awkward manner. And in that fight, he was getting dominated. He was very patient in the fight, which could be good or bad, or a bittersweet, or good and bad. But I think it was a bad case in the Killys Mota fight. Killys Mota was taking him down, going for submission attempts, and really dominated him in that first round. In the second round, Killys Mota was starting off good in that second round. And then Derek Anderson was able to turn around and get a takedown. But even after round, it probably would have went to Killys Mota if he would have got up and just kept going back to what he was doing, because Anderson was giving up takedowns way too easily in that one. Giving up positions way too easily in that one. And really was just an awkward situation where he didn't really land a kick all that flush, but Killys Mota was trying to get a DQ victory, and that's why he lost. But if he would have got up, I'm pretty sure I would bet money that Killys Mota would have won that fight. So if you're coming in this fight and your best chance to beat Michael Page is to wrestle, or mixing wrestling, or mixing grappling, and you're coming off a fight where you didn't look at all stellar, you're giving up takedowns, I feel like Michael Page can actually probably score some good takedowns off him just off pure timing and positioning. On the feet, he's nowhere near the level of striker that Michael Page is. Matter of fact, I even think now, looking at his last couple of performances, I think he's a step down from the last opponent Michael Page fought. And Michael Page is going to come even better now, having fought a similar fight. So once you already fought a similar fighter, you've been fighting a lot of wrestlers or people who are trying to wrestle you or come with that approach. I feel like Derek Anderson just in a position where he's just going to come in there almost tailor-made for what Michael Page wants, and Michael Page is going to be able to stick and move on him, be too quick, be too fast, and mix it up on him. I feel like Michael Page is going to throw a couple of takedowns in there just to give Derek Anderson a look like, this is what you want to do, so I'm going to do this to you, take him down, control him, then go back to his feet and continue to pick him apart. And I think he just puts him away in the second round. So in this one, I have Michael Page by second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Patricky Pitbull versus Peter Quilley. And Peter Quilley is going to bring a good test for Patricky Pitbull to some extent. But let's look at Peter Quilley for a quick second. A guy that's been very, very inconsistent. Like, he's losing guys at 9-9, losing guys that are 1-0 and stuff. Well, I look at his record, and I can see why he lost. Like, I'm looking at Miles Price, which was a feud fight. I see why he lost that fight. He falls in love with his right hand too much. Doesn't really set it up too many times. Like, he does a lot of good strikes, and not a lot of good strikes. He does a lot of decent strikes, but he doesn't piece it all together that well. And again, fall in love with a right hand without really setting it up, and just throwing it an empty right hand, not following behind the jab, not doubling up on the jab enough. And when you're fighting people that his grappling is not the greatest. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not the greatest. It's just in a position where he should be off the cage and be a circle and, avoid clinches and avoid getting taken down and should avoid that. And like in those areas, he could be better in his grappling. I'm not saying he's a guy that has bad grappling, but you got to have situational awareness and you got to understand MMA, yes, it's fighting back in the day. also it's a sport, and you got to understand the point aspect. In that sense, with his grappling, he could do a lot of work, and that's why he lost a couple fights. Because his mind, I think, kind of falls more to it's a fight instead of it's also a sport as well. Like he kind of loses the sport mindset of the thing, and people go beat him by clinching and going for taking like the in the Miles Price fight. He falls so much in love with the right hand, so when you know it's coming, like there's so much telegraphing, you could duck under the right hand and you're already in the clinch, and then you could hold him in the clinch, work for takedowns. And again, I don't know why I even had to go into this, but I just went there. But going against Pitbull, I want to see Pitbull going for very many takedowns. And I think Peter Quilly really, as far as his punches, his only real danger he presents is from the right hand. And I feel like Pitbull is an advanced enough striker, and he's not really worried about anything that Peter Quilly brings other than the right hand, really, in this one, or too much worry, or anything he had to worry. And I felt Pitbull has power in both hands, and he's not just in kicks and knees. And everything Pitbull does brings power, so I feel like he'll be able to counter Peter Quilly, especially the guy that's fallen in love with one single punch, and really come over that right hand, duck under, and come with his own overhand, and be able to drop Peter Quilly and put him out in that first round. So in this one, I have Patricky Pitbull via first round TKO. Now to our co-main event, we have in the light heavyweight division, Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Jose Augusto Azevedo. And just first off, I'm gonna say put some money on Azevedo. I'm not saying I'm predicting Azevedo, because I looked at Anthony Johnson out first before I even looked at his IG and kept up with him a little bit. I was looking at some of his what he's been doing since he's retired temporarily, or for like what 4 years. He's been doing wrestling, not wrestling, but doing grappling matches against Ryan Bader and really just doing a lot of losing as far as anything. Like he's been grappling. I don't know if that's to round out his skill set or he just to make some extra money, but it's not a good look to really just go out there just to lose and get a check. It's not MMA, which is where his real motivation is and where he's really a star at. He's definitely not a star in grappling, but it just, like I said, it's not a good look to be out there just taking money to lose and just losing out there and just giving up leg locks. I'm not saying he did go against the best guy in grappling at the moment, but still, just to go out there and be so comfortable losing. And then now you look at his age, he's 37. It's not like he's 33 or 32 or 34 or even 35. He's 37, so he's past that prime mark. Questionable motivation. So is he coming here for the right reasons? Is he in the best shape he could be in? Is he in the right mindset? And also with inactivity, how will he be when he's come back in the cage? Now he's going against Azevedo, who's definitely not somebody that's proven or such a big test, at least on paper. But that's also a scary part about Azevedo in this one. He's big, 6'3". I think Anthony Rumble Johnson might say 6'2" or even 6'3" at times on paper. But in reality, Rumble Johnson like 5'11" or 6 feet in reality, because he was even shorter than Jimmy Manua, who Manua is supposed to be 6 feet tall or 6'1" or whatnot. And he was shorter than Manua by a significant amount. So really like a 5'11" or 6 feet fighter, unless he just had back problems or I don't know what. But Johnson's not super tall, but again, where am I going with this? I'm just saying Azevedo's a big guy, some range, got some reach on him. He got some power on him, got some good, really heavy kicks, and some underrated jiu-jitsu. And a guy with like Johnson, if you come in there unmotivated, which it seems like he's motivated, that's why I'm going to lean to pick him. But just the fact that all these factors being the willingness to so accepting of losses, though it's not MMA, is a factor against him. The age is a factor against him. The inactivity is a factor against him. And then also got factor in Azevedo. He's motivated. He's looking better with every single fight. And he's got this well-rounded skill set. Yes, the experience not on side. Yes, he don't got the wins yet, but this is a young guy who's motivated, been active, got some power, got some pretty decent like technical skills as well, like to a degree. Not the most technical skills, but to a degree got like a little good step back, counter straight. Got some good front kicks, power, body kicks, can switch up to the head kick well. Got some solid jiu-jitsu skills, and we know Johnson has been tapped out a couple times, but mostly, well, only to wrestlers. But again, where's the motivation at? You got to worry, you got to be concerned. So again, I would say put some money on Azevedo just because, well, not just because, but just for the fact of those factors. But I'm going to lean to Anthony Johnson to be able to get this stoppage in this one, which sounds a little bit like I'm backtracking on what I said. But when you expect Johnson to win, it's typically by either a dominating decision or by a stoppage. And I'm going to lean to stoppage in this one. Like he's doing least as far as getting in shape, like he's training hard, he's back slimmed down, back in shape, in the camp and doing cardio, and not just like he's taking it serious. So by Rumble being serious and in good shape, I see him still being a faster striker, being a more technical striker, being a heavier hitting striker. And in that first round, Rumble's takedown defense is solid, and pretty much everything going for him is on point in that first round. So I see him being able to, if not hurt Azevedo early in that round, I see him being able to gain his respect and gain a little bit of fear from Azevedo. And now have Azevedo with that longer frame, trying to duck under, trying to initiate clinches, and then fall into that uppercut from Rumble, and then followed up by a head kick, and then getting finished off with ground and pound in that first round. But Azevedo at least getting a little bit, like give him a little bit of Rumble a little bit of a go for about a minute or so in that round, but before Rumble starts to land and find his timing, and then that sequence plays out. So in this one, I have Anthony Rumble Johnson by first round TKO. Now to our main event, we have in the bantamweight division, Juan Archuleta versus Sergio Pettis. And looking at this one, I was asking for, they're fighting for Juan Archuleta's bantamweight belt in Bellator, undisputed bantamweight belt. But yeah, look at this one. At first, I was leaning to Archuleta just by being a more well-rounded fighter. But then I had to take another double take at it, and now I'm leaning to Sergio Pettis, and that's my last. I'm not switching up who I'm leaning to again. This is the sealed deal delivered final prediction for this. Matter of fact, I haven't predicted this. My first and only prediction for it. But as far as in my head and where my mind was at, and from what I was looking at it from outside, yes, this is like I had to switch it up with myself before I put it to the public. But yeah, Archuleta versus Pettis. Like I said, Archuleta is the more well-rounded fighter. I think he is the tougher, more gritty fighter, but I think it kind of plays into styles. And I think what Archuleta does, I think, first off, Sergio Pettis, I feel like the faster striker, the more technical striker. Like I said, Archuleta is more of a dog. In the fight, he has much more dog in him. Can mix it up better than Pettis, and definitely scrambles better and a lot of things better than Pettis as far as like overall. But I don't think Juan Archuleta, as far as relative wise, takedown offense has not really been the greatest. So I feel like Sergio Pettis does a good job at least stuffing, like people that are okay to decent at takedowns, but people that are like exceptional or, crafty, very crafty at it and have their ways with it and get into the ground. That's when people he could struggle and they could just take him down and try to grind him out or backpack him to decisions against him. But a guy like Archuleta, I don't see him having the greatest success taking Pettis down nor holding Pettis down. If anything, Archuleta's takedowns will be just points, but outside of that, he'll be getting picked apart on the feet. Won't be able to hold Pettis down. Won't be able to stall in there to, get control time against Pettis. I don't see him doing that. And then on the feet, Archuleta's, a lot of his striking is swish stance striking, which you could say is technical, which you could say creative, but a lot of times that swish stance is a cause of lack of technique. Like you try to do that to land, you got to switch stance to land a shot. And against a guy who's coming from a smaller weight class, who's already a fast technical striker, that switch stance is going to make your strikes even more delayed. And a guy like Pettis, no matter which stance you're switching in, he's going to be able to attack you from just equally, if not more, because you're going to have to take that time to load up and switch stance. And a lot of Archuleta's shots, when he switches stance, are shots where he's falling in type strikes, missing. And if a technical striker is going to make it look sloppy when you did that. Even Pitbull made him look sloppy at times, were able to counter him, catch him off balance, catch him flat, catch him square. And a guy like Pettis is going to be able to do the same. I'm not saying he's going to be able to put a hurting on him the same as a Pitbull can, but he's even quicker than Pitbull. I'm not saying he's going to, like, as far as damage-wise, but technically he's going to be able to land counter, be crisp. When he's all balanced, chew up his legs, chew up his body, come over top, come around the side, and, take advantage of, like I said, these wide switch stance combinations or attempts. And also when he's doing attempts to be able to move, stay on his toes, and angle out, circle away, and just be nowhere near that combination that Archuleta is drawing. And again, I just see Pettis being technical. Also, another thing about Archuleta, he's typically a fighter that fights on the outside. So if he fights on the outside on this fight, that's even more of a recipe for disaster against Pettis, because Pettis is just going to walk him down, be able to counter him, and take advantage of him more. So I feel like in this fight, he's definitely going to lose a real easy decision to Pettis if he's going to fight on the outside like he does against a lot of other people. But him being a bigger fighter, I feel like he's going to try to pressure Pettis, which he will need to do. But I don't think he has the boxing or all that great at cutting the cage off. his ability to cut the cage off isn't all that great to really have true success against Pettis. By the way, circling and fighting Pettis from distance, he's gonna get picked apart. Coming in with these long switch stance combinations, he's just gonna get countered and bowling Matador against Pettis, and Pettis just gonna be quicker to the punch, more technical. And I just don't see him having great success with his grappling in this one. He's good at defending against grappling and scrambling and being able to find situations where he can dominate. Well, not dominate, but find opportunities against people who are grapplers. Where Pettis would, like, say if he fought Patchy Mix, like Patchy Mix. I feel like Pettis would lose that fight, probably get tapped out against Patchy Mix. But it's a style make fights in. I just think Archuleta's offensive grappling isn't going to have the same success to the degree, say, Patchy Mix would against Pettis. So, in this one, to get to the point, I think Pettis, stylistically, it favors him. Archuleta's not going to have the success that he needs with his grappling. And striking wise, I don't think his boxing is clean or his pressure game is as good to really have success against Pettis. And whether it be at distance or coming in, I think Pettis is going to be able to find counters against Archuleta, be able to beat him to the punch, be the more technical striker, be the faster striker, be the quicker striker, and make the higher fight IQ striker in this one, and really just be able to outstrike Archuleta to a clean decision. So in this one, I have Sergio Pettis by decision. And that concludes my fight predictions for some of the key fights for Bellator 258, Archuleta versus Pettis. And as always, thanks for watching.